Thank you for clicking. My name is Mark Mitchell. I'm a mortgage broker here in London, Ontario. With the advent of the new stress test coming out and the London, Ontario real estate market starting to show signs of slowdown, I wanted to briefly go over what happens when a market does slow down. We have a pretty good idea of what happens to those who have already purchased, those who are waiting to purchase, but what happens with those fairly unlucky buyers who have just purchased right at the moment of the crash or the slowdown. We haven't seen this for a few years, so I thought it'd be worth it to briefly go over what's happened in previous real estate market slowdowns, and go over some brief tips over how to prevent yourself from getting caught in the what's really the downside, the unfortunate downside of market slowdowns or real estate crashes. One oft-cited case for what can happen when there's a severe market slowdown is Gamoff versus Hugh, which occurred a few years ago, right around the time that the government introduced the 15% foreign buyers tax in the city of Toronto. Toronto at the time was much like the London real estate market is right now, where it was characterized by multiple offer situations, $100,000, $200,000 over asking price bidding wars. So much like we've seen in London. At the time, the couple, Gamoff, had their house for sale, and another couple came along, Hugh, and in a bidding war, won the house for $2.25 million. The couple, Hugh, put down $30,000 with their offer of $2.25 million. However, a few days later, they found out they couldn't secure financing. Unfortunately for the couple, they had already waived a financing condition, but nonetheless were unable to complete the purchase. Following this, this is right around the time that the government imposed the tax. So in a normal situation, let's say pre-tax, the initial couple selling their house would have just kept the $30,000 deposit, put the house back on the market, it sells, everybody moves on. However, the government had just introduced this 15% foreign buyers tax, and the market experienced an extremely large slowdown. So, the original couple relisted the house for $2.25 million, hoping to recoup all the money from the original offer that didn't go through. But with the huge slowdown, the couple actually went from having over 18 offers on the original listing to having 0 offers on when it was listed for 2.25. After having to lower the price a few times, the couple ended up selling for close to $1.8 million. So over $400,000 difference between what they thought they had sold it to during the market boom compared to what they actually did sell it for post foreign buyers tax. That couple took the previous buyers to court, and the judge ruled in favor of the home sellers. And the previous couple were ordered to pay over $370,000 in penalties, all from a quick market correction brought on by the government, but $370,000 in penalties from a brief market correction because there wasn't a finance condition on, and the housing prices tanked. The judge, for his part, did issue his condolences to the Hughes in that they had to pay such a large amount, but he did rule that you have to be careful in the housing market, and it's very much buyer beware. Whether or not London, Ontario's real estate market is going to crash as much as Toronto's did a few years ago, that remains to be seen. But I think it's good to note that when you are putting in your offers, and you're putting in offers without conditions, without a finance condition, without an appraisal condition, stuff like this is always possible. So whereas the market does seem like it's moving along, it's just going up and up and up, eventually a slowdown does come, and there have been hints of a slowdown in London right now. I wouldn't want to see anybody get in a similar situation as the Hughes did in Toronto a few years ago, where they have to pay $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 difference, all because the correction came at one point right at bad timing, really. So it's important to make sure that you do have your financing in order. Have the finance condition in place if you're not 100% sure. Even then, I always recommend a finance condition. But I think that it's a good reminder to look back to what happened in Toronto in 2017, 2018, when the government essentially did cool down their real estate market. And some people did get caught in the middle. They had to go to court over it, and it cost them large financially in the long run. So it's always great to have that. Always good, not great. Always good to have those stories in the back of your mind when you are considering putting your offer in on your house, especially without conditions. If you have any questions or comments, please do list them below. And please do feel free to like and subscribe if you want more updates on the London's mortgage market, the real estate market, and any other news that comes out to do with those. Thank you.